Welcome back, everybody. Here we go again. The sun's coming up, which is nice. We certainly need that to happen as we attempt to get home. We're going to have to light a fire first, though. Yeah, we need to warm up. Your character is cold. The sun's starting to come up, so we'll be able to get home soon, I'm sure. I don't think I have a map with me, do I? That's the important bit, that box of nails. Nothing else matters. That plus symbol, then we'll move out. Probably be the last fire until we make it home now. Or die. Certainly fires give away your position in this game, don't they? Everyone can see where the fire is. Thanks for the sub, massively appreciated. So we're making our way back to our base. One round of 308 in the AR, and then some pistol rounds, while trying to stay away from players and roaming patrols, because we've got a box of nails, and boxes of nails on this server are ultra rare, and we got it from killing somebody yesterday. But it might not go according to plan. It doesn't always pan out. We need at some point to search that shipyard. Now I need to cross this. Do we swim it or do we walk round? Tempting to swim, you know. Would be safer. It would be cold. We'll have to go round. Didn't want to have to do that, but a bit more loot that we can search, but more chances obviously of bumping into players. And Zeds. We are playing on the DeerIsle map. It is a hardcore survival server. It is my own server, with a 70% loot nerf and various other things to cause problems for everybody. I do, obviously, as you can see, I do play the server. There are teams on here. It's a solo duo server. We have about 10 active players. But we've had PvP on here. The server's been up just over a week. Though I've been running servers now for a couple of years. Hi John, welcome back mate. How are you? Don't need that. It won't be a long stream. It'll be about an hour, hour and a half tonight. Just I want to do something other than think about what's happening at the moment. So I want something to relax. And this will allow me to relax. I'm always wary of walking into these because of bear traps. So I know what I'm like, dropping them off, and I know other players think the same. And then when I'm on like tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday, it'll be with Chuckles and I won't be on stream. Because then we can just have a chat net. Hi Hugo, how are you? It so annoys me, the DAYZ climbing mechanics. You can't climb this, but you can climb that. But that's taller. Yep. Is the loot the same as the last live stream? The only thing I've changed about the loot in the last 24 hours is up the amount of starter sheds that are spawning in. It's the only difference. We've increased the amount of starter sheds. Obviously because people can't make them anymore. So rather than force people to go to the trader, long term I'll have a different solution. It won't be making them. I think the problem the crafting thing always worked for me, but didn't work for you guys, and I wonder whether it didn't always work for you guys, and I wonder whether that's because as admin, whenever I tested it and spawned items in, they spawned in pristine. And what I don't want to do is make all the items come into the game pristine, because then we're not a survival server anymore. The reason I gave people a lighter is this is a hard server. I'm not going to make any qualms about it. It's difficult. And we had players joining the server, and after 10 minutes, they were leaving and never coming back. And I could see from the logs that they'd attempted to light a fire 3 times. It had failed 3 times, and they walked away. I can't, as a server owner, justify that happening. You know, this has cost me money. I want players that come on to stay, if at all possible. So the lighter was a compromise that it's not in the files. If I put the lighter on the floor now and run off, it will despawn. If you take it out of your inventory and leave it somewhere where it can't be protected, it will despawn. But fresh spawns have one, and the trader will buy it off you for $1,000. You know, I'd like to get to a point where we had more players playing. So I have to try and up the amount. But this will be the last year we have to pay for server hosting. Arguably. Because now with what's happened, at some point through the summer, I'll inherit, I'll buy a house, and I'll put a server into the house. And then from then on, there'll be no cost to hosting. Obviously, a cost to my electricity and a cost to me maintaining a server, but there won't be the yearly cost to the server cost. So it changes what we can do. There are priests on here. DeerIsle just has less priests by its very nature, which is why all the AI carry a map as well. As long as you headshot them, you'll get a map off the AI if you don't ruin them anything on their clothing. So that's a personal choice of where you shoot them and how you engage with them. And also they're spawning in the world as well. So I didn't want to leave players completely in the lurch. So once, by sort of October, November, then I'll be building next year's server. And it will still be a survival server. And it will, but at that point, it will be a 60 slot survival server. And people that don't know this map are learning it. Yeah. The only thing you really need a map for is to know where Trader is. If you wish to use Trader. I know I need another fire, but we'll get a clear of this place first. Fires are far safer to put in areas other than houses. I mean, the loot now should be sorted from where I did the update after we had the disastrous patch on Friday that caused major problems for me. So timers should have run now, so things should be despawning and respawning where they should be spawning. And then next week, because the funeral will be at some point next week, I don't know when I'll be streaming and when I won't be, or when I'll be making content or when I won't be. This week I'm off work, I'm on compassionate leave, because I'm going to be busy every day as the execution, the person in charge of the will. So that's going to take up my daytime. And I'm not going to really feel like streaming in the evenings. I'll probably game with Chuckles because I can just chat it through then with him. And then, basically get through. This week will be the nightmare. This week will be getting it all sorted, and then it's just a wait for the funeral. Get through the funeral, and then the wait for everything to happen with the will, and then the nightmare of Goblin trying to find somewhere to live. But it'll be a nice nightmare to have. I'll inherit enough money to buy a house outright. We need to get that into cover before we use it. Not yet hit that place. It needs to be searched, but today's not the time. Yeah, so I'll inherit enough to pay off all my debts and buy a house outright and have money left over in the bank, making me interest, which will be really nice. Put me in a far, far better position financially than I've ever been in my life. So, and it means I can start to plan for my retirement in 13 years' time. Right, let's get that book consumed. Nearly taken me over. Gathering is nearly there now. Oh God, AI. Everyone's worst nightmare, hearing a heli crash on here, isn't it? But that's why it's so good. Because they do act like player teams. It's nice. And they're getting better with each patch. There's more we can do with them. Certainly the next wipe I have new things planned for them. I can get them to fight each other now. So I can assign them to different groupings. So I can make one guards, which means they will only attack animals and zombies. And I can make the other mercenaries, which means they'll attack guards and us. And then I could put them into a conflict on a trigger in one area. So as you ran round the corner, there'd be a firefight going down between the AI. I'm looking after it, yeah. It's mine for the moment, Gurmit, mine for the moment. Though I've just heard a heli crash, so it might not be mine for very long. Seeing I've only got one round of ammo for it. You weren't kind enough to let me have any more. Hi, West. Oh, hi, Shane. Oh, that's not fair. Be good, Goblin. Be good and leave it. You don't need to go there. You can't risk that box of nails you've got. That Gurmit kindly donated. I also think next wipe will have a second location for a trader because of the... Well, no, we'll have loot crates by next wipe because that's not going to happen now for 2 weeks. But once I get past what I'm dealing with now, then I can work on that. And then if you find a key for the base building supplies in Stonington, you'll be okay. No. It will always go badly damaged, but it doesn't always ruin. I've had M4s out of the AI kills that means that you've got access to an M4. But they've got hit boxes, so they've made it so they won't be pristine to stop people farming them. 100%. But where you hit the body is where, apart from the weapon, is where it ruins. But it was a built-in mechanic to stop the farming of AI, because they realise that players very quickly work out AI routines, work out where they get stuck, and then they'll farm them for weapons all the time, which is not why you have them on a server in my eyes. You have them in to make the world feel more alive and have them carry certain bits of loot for the players. But I had a, I wouldn't say me, Chuckles killed 6 of them the other night, or 8 of them, over a space of a couple of hours. Yeah, aim for the head. And in that, we got two pristine M4s and the rest were knackered. Oh god, there's the, is that the smoke? Yeah. Is that on the island, though? If it's on the island, it's not a problem. Because currently they can't swim. That's next patch. They're still working on making them swim. Sorry, I'll dry quietly. They're working on making them swim and making them open doors. But I've been kind. I haven't put any snipers in. I could put AI snipers in that would sit in cover. Lie down, in cover, wearing ghillie suits and hit you. As I said, weapons. The weapon side will never spawn in pristine. It will always be either unusable or badly damaged. That's the best you're going to get out of a weapon, is badly damaged, to stop people farming AI. The clothing is a bit more random. You know, you can hit people in headshots, but if you hit a whole team, you should get one Bergen that is not completely knackered, and inside will be an apple, a magazine, a map, and whatever else I've decided to give. Sorry, I'm under fire. Kill an animal and make one. Fat and rags, isn't it? Something like that. So lard and 6 rags. Yeah, no problem, Gurmit. Not a problem at all. I'm reluctant all the time to say how the AI work, because every day a patch comes out as they tweak it and make them better. And what I don't want to be doing is every day having to change my message and say, what I told you all yesterday is now become this. Oh no, it's become this. Oh no, it's become this. What's really interesting is expansion AI have now started pushing out patches because they've suddenly got competition. People are starting to stop using expansion AI, which is good. But this is a lot less server resort. I could never have run this with expansion AI. It would have been crashing all the time. Yeah, I have one door down, and if I manage to get this box of nails home, thanks to Gurmit's donation, that'll be 2 doors down. Well, that's what we're aiming for. It'll be interesting when they get the AI swimming. That'll be a really interesting mechanic. And if they can get it tactically, so like 2 of them stay, 2 swim across and the other 2 follow, that would be amazing. But they're having to reprogram zombies, basically. Because they're using zombie code to make the AI, which is why we can have so many of them on the server working at the same time. Today's patch gave them the ability to shoot at each other if you set them into different groups, and also animation for when they turn round mid-patrol, rather than just sort of swiveling on the spot. They now have animation as they turn round. Again, really nice. Now, I have downgraded their hit rate to under 50% now. So, you should be able to have a better firefight with them, rather than one shot you're flashing, one shot you're dead. When they hit you, it'll still hurt, but they should miss more than they hit. Hard work getting a door down there, wasn't it? Did you find it difficult, Shane? Was it not difficult, a challenge, shall we say? I mean, I have slightly upped the amount of nails a little bit. I've kept the code locks the same. I like the fact that there's more code locks and nails because it makes people pick up code locks all the time thinking they're going to need them. Where really they just need nails. Yeah. The hard fight. But you can eventually, when you get to trader, you can buy a sleeping bag, which will allow you to spawn at your base. Gurmit, let me have one. It'll become easier once I've got the... Not easier. It'll become... Once I've managed to get the loot crates in. But I can't focus on that at the moment. I'm too busy with everything in real life. I tried yesterday. Really tried. But I was just getting more and more frustrated trying to place items on the ground. I mean, last Sunday, Chuckles and I took a trip to Trader, and we made it to about 600 meters away from Trader, and we were ambushed by AI, and they wiped us both out. Which is why I've now upped the amount of boats that are spawning. So, again, it's a balance thing. Because you don't know... For all the testing in the world, you don't know how a server is going to play out until people start playing it. Until you see it in the real world. It's easy enough for me to run up to a location to test it. Or to spawn the AI in and test them. But it doesn't really plan for the future, plan for what's happening. You need to get players onto the server. You need to see how many. You need to see the logs of how many people are dying, what items they're picking up, what sort of PvP is happening. See what sort of complaints you get or questions from players. You know, if players are asking all the time, "Where do we find nails?" then I know my balance is not right for nails. Yeah. And you only really work those things out once you start playing. Which is where I think, arguably, the first couple of weeks of any wipe at my small level is about getting it right. Certainly, the aim will be with the loot crates when we've got them in place. It's not going to be hundreds of keys around, you know. But you'll be able to get keys from any location. A lot of the keys are going to send you somewhere completely different on the map because I want that movement and I want it to be a challenge. But some of the crates will just be close to you and will have basic supplies in. So there will be crates in Stonington that you can get access to. But you might not get that key until you're in Old Town. Which means then you have to come home. I'm currently trying to get the code. Well, I won't be yet. I stopped yesterday when it got making me too frustrated. I've got a way of replacing all the cash registers in the game. And I want to replace all the cash registers with a loot crate cash register. Which will then have a key, and then... Oh no, not again. do not need the hassle of this with a box of nails. So then, if you get the key for the cash register, you'll be able to go and open any cash register in the game, and there'll be some money inside. So that's how I'm thinking for this, how to use them. Storerooms that are already full of boxes, a loot crate will be amongst those boxes. So when you go to when you get told the airfield, there's keys for the airfield, you'll have to search the whole of the airfield, and you might miss it because it will be amongst other loot crates. I don't want it to be easy, but I want the rewards to be good enough to make it worthwhile when you do find it. I also want 10 locations for crates per location with only one crate spawning. So each restart, it moves. So again, it won't be in the same place next time you go there, more than likely. Because I want it to be a struggle. Which is what it should be. I mean, I might tick the box later after doing some testing, so the AI will start attacking zombies, because that will give away their position a little bit to you, and they'll use up some of their ammo. But a lot of that depends upon looking at the logs in a couple of days' time to see how many players are dying to them, because I don't want the AI running out of ammo before they meet players, otherwise people will just be farming them. Well, that one's got special powers. So, on Friday, I'm thinking, whatever day Chuckles was, he's working Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Yeah. So on Thursday, maybe. Yeah, Thursday. Chuckles had been killed. Was trying to make it home to base. I was in base. The helicopter crashed nearby, and by the time I went to leave base, the AI was waiting at the door for me. So I opened the door and had a firefight at the door. They'd followed me home earlier. So if they spot you, then they're like wolves. They will keep coming. Right across the map, they will track you and keep coming. So your only option is to fight them or die to them. Or wait for a server restart. If you log out and log back in, they'll still be there. Once the AI spawn in, they don't despawn until either the restart or when they're killed. Just so you know, guys. So if that helicopter crashes, if those AI don't catch up with me, they're now patrolling the map as a 4-man team. You could bump into them anywhere. And I love that. It means the world feels so much more alive. I think the next thing to look at will be to moving the AI to teams of 2. So when you bump into them and put them in a bit more random clothing, maybe some of them. So if we stick them into a bit more random clothing, some of the patrols will be stag patrols, but some of them will be a bit more random, maybe with shotguns and AKs and things. And we have them patrolling in teams of 2. When you see them, you won't know whether they're players or not, which again adds to the server. So when you go onto Paris Island and a team spawn in to patrol Paris, they will keep coming. If you leave Paris and don't bump into them, there's someone else's problem. So if people follow you in afterwards, they might spawn a different team in, and suddenly they're fighting 8 AI in there. Little bit laggy in here. I'm gonna need... I've got a long stick on me, haven't I? I'll be fine. I've got a bit of paper. I've got a rag. I'll need a fire when I get home. Bloody DAYZ. I just killed 2 AI headshots and it ruined everything. Gun that I used from the first AI was killed with a knife and didn't run gun, but everything else was ruined. Yeah, that's gonna happen, mate. I'll have to do a post explaining why, and I don't have any control over it. That's to do with the code. Right, and let me drop that off. That's important. Also important. Everything's important. We've got no space to store it. AR-10 gold. Stay a scout. Have I got any ammo on it? 5.56, isn't it? Better. Yeah, so basically the code has been set up by the mod author to make sure that the weapons are always either badly damaged or ruined to stop farming of AI. The other items, it's random. So we had a team, we were hit by a team, Chuckles and I, on Thursday night, and Chuckles killed all 4 of them because I was limping away covered in blood, and everything was ruined. The next team that hit us, he killed all 4 of them, and one of their rucksacks was preserved, and in that rucksack there was the loot. So at times you'll get stuff out of them, at times it'll all be ruined, but that's the mod author has ideaed because he understands that people in the past, or people will very quickly work out how to farm AI, and they'll keep farming them. And that's not what they wanted them for. They want them to make the world feel alive, not to make a chance for players to... The word cheat's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Right, before we do anything, we're going to need a fire. Exploit them. Yeah. But players do. I get it. I've done it myself. With expansion, you work out how expansion doesn't work, and you use that to your advantage. It's no different than learning how a GoblinZ server works, so you've got an advantage over the player that comes on that doesn't. You're just learning how a game works and using that to your advantage. Makes sense. I can't farm them. That would make it a bit easier to get decent stuff. Yes. So it's becoming a bit more now that they act a bit more like players. They're not quite as accurate. They're there to cause pain, but not so much death. And now with expansion, even when you turn off can they be looted, you can always loot the gun. So people will just farm them for loads of guns. Whereas with AI bandits, that's just not possible. My next thing is to try and see if we can get a couple of the patrols working, looking a bit more like we look. So random clothing and random weapons. So then, and then rather than a 4-man patrol, a 2-man patrol. So when you bump into them, you don't know whether it's a team, whether it's AI or players, because that will be interesting. That seemed to go out mighty quick, didn't it? So, next port of call is we need 2 logs. I need to make another crate. Okay, John. I'm not sure that door was open before below me. How many slots has that one got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 by, yeah. 100 slots, or we go for a 60 slotter. That should leave us enough nails then still to do another door at some point in the future. Okay, we'll go for the 60 slotter. Oh, it's just being stupid now, isn't it? About you can't place this game. Oh. Keeping that, we're keeping that, we're keeping on us. That's going away. That's going away. That's staying on us. That's staying on us. That's going away. That one's staying on us. Staying. Going away. Going away. Certainly going away. Going away. Oh, it looks like we're keeping that lot on us then. Yeah. Get that out there. Pop that one in there. Put that out. Move that across. Put that there. Put the full one in there. Okay. Welcome back, John. That's solved. So that's all staying on us. No space in the others, is there? Oh, there's a little bit of space here and there. Okay, that can stay with us. That can stay here. So 9 milli going with us. That horrible thing's going with us. That's going with us. Got a little bit of food to eat. Got one firearm. Now, do I have any 223? That is the next question. Do we have any spare 223? Probably not is the answer. So if any of you that don't know, trader is there. I'll let you work out how to get there. Okay, so we're going to eat that, drink some of that, and go do a bit of looting. That ruined. Yeah. That's the problem. I only put one stick inside the fire. That was silly of me, wasn't it? Warm up. Oop. Not warm up there. Warm up there. We could do with another. We could do the fire barrel in here so we can start cooking inside the house, and then I can block off this window because we've got other windows we can shoot out of. That was painful. Anything else that we can repair? Everything's ruined, isn't it, basically? Yeah. So we need a full set of clothing. Thank you. My goodness, it's been 14 months already. I know. Frightening, isn't it? But when you think 14 months ago I had 500 subs, and where I am today. It's amazing. Obviously, that lone video did it. That got me 300 and something, 275 subs, I think I remember rightly. And that massive boost then gave me traction. But we're so much further forward now. I love the fact that these doors come right up to the top so people can't use them to climb over. But what we're earning now on YouTube at this current level between your memberships and what I earn off advertising is enough to cover server costs, which is amazing. So as what I earn off adverts increases, it will allow me to then actually make an income. We're not bringing anything stupid out with ourselves, are we? No. Just picking up breakfast. Right, complete set of clothing we're after now then. And some 223. Bit of 308. We've got two 110s or two AR-15s. Useful clothing, Goblin. Pristine. It might as well be warm. Oh. I know, streamer loot. I'm saying nothing. We need that deer. Because we need a leather repair kit for our footwear. That's probably our priority now. That way, I think. Right. That scope is no use at all. On this server, 10 minutes to stop people F11ing and farming their own bodies. Enough time that if you kill someone, you can loot them, but not enough time for people to make use of the fact that bodies on vanilla live for an hour, which is ultimately unrealistic. I would have them despawn straight away. But then if someone kills you, that doesn't work. Or you kill someone. So 10 minutes is what I set them at on the server. It's actually 10 minutes when you move more than 300 meters from the body. If you're within 300 meters, they'll stay forever. Or until a restart. But once you move 300 meters away, it's 10 minutes. Maybe not. Why can't I hear the deer? Knife out with me. I did. Good. Right then, Mr. Deer, where are you? Where are you hiding to? Yeah. Yeah. And don't take it as a negative. It's done because we're a survival server. Everyone objects to it until they work out that actually it means everyone's on equal footing. A fresh life really matters on here. When we first... Is that a deer then? When we first went live after wipe, in the space of the first night, I was watching players in admin mode commit suicide, run back to their body, have 2 apples, and then cut their body up and turn it into a fishing kit. And I was like, we can't have that. Those AI shoot accurately. They're below 50% hit rate now, which has been done on purpose. So they do, but they've got more chance of missing than hitting. But when they do hit you, they hit you with a 5.56. So they're a challenge. Yeah? But I want them to be a challenge. I want it to... I don't want it to be impossible. But I want players to be wary of them. And obviously the ones that you encounter on helis are just heli ones. If you start pushing into military, you'll get the same stuff, but they'll be following patrol routes rather than just jumping off a heli. So if you like go into Paris and you find somewhere up high and you lie and wait long enough, you'll see them patrolling, and then you could engage them from a distance and take them out. You've got to learn their patrol route, so. Come on, Mr. Deer. But all of you saying there's no priests on the map. Look. And he's got a present for me. My use of AI is, I don't want them everywhere, but I want them to cause problems. Otherwise, it just becomes a PvE server with the occasional might bump into a player if you're very unlucky. Whereas when we add the AI in, it means if you want to go to high tier mill or push a heli crash for better loot, you've got a threat, which is nice. And it's a threat we all face. I don't like to make impossible servers, but I like to make my servers harder. Impossible doesn't interest me, but vanilla is too easy. Yeah, they will do. And when they run out of ammo, they'll switch to a bayonet and try and stab you to death. But the mod is new. That's why we're getting so many mod updates, because like every couple of days there's an update to the mod. And they're changing their behaviours and making them more and more realistic. The reason I like it is with expansion AI, because it's based upon player models, I can only run 9 on a GTX server without the server crashing. With Bandit AI, which is what we're running, I can have 60 on here without any problems or lag. So it means we can make the world feel more alive. Now, this first wipe, I've used someone else's code for their spawning locations. In the future, a year's time type future, I would expect to set them up myself and have them operate differently. Where are you, Mr. Deer? You're not a deer. So I love the fact that Bandit AI are so much more less resource hungry. They're easier to program than expansion. They're easier to have them covering areas than expansion. A lot easier. A lot easier to make Bandit AI do what you want to do. Literally, I go into DAYZ editor, I put a barrel on the ground, I mark its position, I move, put a barrel on the ground, mark its position, and then I tell the AI patrol between those two locations. Job done. And then loadouts, it's just I'm going in there and going, oh, it says head, choosing what's on the head, etc, 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 etc. Hopefully they've not spotted me. Otherwise I'll be dying, because I've only got one 5.56 and then some 9mm and then some 380. And I've got no armour on. Where are you, Mr. Deer? All this to find bloody deer so we can make a leather repair kit. I'll take any animal. Yes, but I can't attach them to police cars yet. So, apart from heli, all the other events are run using different types of script. Whereas heli, is run using a type of script that they've worked out how to attach Bandit AI to, where the other ones they haven't worked it out yet. It will come. Once they've worked it out, there'll be little tick boxes, and I'll be able to say, this patrol needs to spawn on all the police events with 9mm pistols, wearing police clothing. And then there'll be no zombies on them, there'll just be police AI. And this patrol will be dressed as farmers, and it'll be a single person living in a farmhouse, and I want every farmhouse on the map. That's where I want to be 2 years down the road. Yes, 100% it is. It just will take a lot of time for it to actually happen. It probably won't happen until I buy a house and get a server in place. Because then I can build it on the server, keep running this. I can build my own server. This way. I can build my own server. I can set things up. I can get it all working. I can tweak it. And then this time next year, we can stop paying. I can stop paying for GTX and switch us to our own server. And then we'll have this. We'll probably stay with DeerIsle because that's where my work's going into for the first map. And then my intention is to have probably not a 60 slot, but have probably 4 30 slot survival servers on different maps. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think it works. It's not too much. It's enough to keep... You can stay alive, but it's not overwhelming, is it? It's not everywhere all the time. Thank you, game. Oh, 100%. And I'm getting better at coding. There's an element of I needed to get better. But once I have our own server, then we'll have a DeerIsle map. We'll probably have a Chernarus, and we'll probably have a Livonia. And I might portal them so you can go between all 3 with your loot. So you could live on Chernarus, loot up on Livonia, and do the quest on DeerIsle as part of the same server group. Because we could build the portals at the airfields, and there could be an aircraft in there, and then you went into the back of the aircraft, and there would be the portal, and the portal would take you then to the choice of which maps you wanted to jump to, and it would load in the other map, which could be quite good fun. No, not like official. I see what you're saying, like official. It's not like that at all, but I can see why you think it is. I have to put a big mod on, and I have to put a mod on server side, and I have to run a database for it that is linked to all 3 of them, and you have to have all servers loaded at the same time, and you have to restrict access to them so that people join in the order you want. It's a lot of work. But it doesn't mean you can have them jump between the 3 servers. What you can't do is log out. So if you logged out of DeerIsle and then said, oh, I'll now log on to Chernarus, you'd be a fresh character. But if you logged back into DeerIsle and went to the portal and chose Chernarus, you'd take your gear with you, if that makes sense. Whatever you're carrying. because then we can have things like you get a key on Chernarus, and that key is for a loot crate on the Mausk, or Livonia, or DeerIsle, and you have to then go through the portal to use that key. So if we did it at the airfield, it would feel in my head like you were catching a flight rather than teleporting. Yeah, but that's long term. That's next year type term, because I need to have a server in place, set up, running, with it all installed, and a lot of work building it before I let it loose on the world. Yeah. No, it's not stupidly difficult. It's the problem is building the database and locking down the other servers. But there's a mod that does it for you. It's a nice idea. It's a really nice idea. But for me, because they tend to use Stargate type portals for it, which I don't think fits into my survival world. So I'd have to have a way of making it feel a bit more real. So yeah, you need to have a database, because what has to happen is the data when you leave DeerIsle, it saves it as a text file that then is loaded in to the next server to give you that gear back in the next server. And then when you die on that server, it updates it, or when you throw something on the ground and you come back, it has to know that you don't still have that gear, if that makes sense. So you tend to do it with things like only allow base building on one of the maps, because that stops your server having to calculate someone's base on 3 maps with 3 different locations, with all the issues that causes with lots of players all over all 3 that are all linked over all 3. So you might have one map where the loot crates are, one map where base building's allowed, and one map which is where the questing is allowed. But PvP can happen anywhere. It drinks RAM. Probably the biggest problem. It will drink processing power, which is why I need to do it without my own server, so I can't afford to keep buying more and more third party, which means I need big down, big up. Yeah. But I wouldn't have it unless I could make it feel semi-realistic, if that makes sense. Because I still don't want it to feel like you're in a sci-fi adventure. But I quite like the idea of that you can base build on Chernarus. You can loot up on Livonia and do keys, and then you come to DeerIsle to do a quest. Yeah. We know there's a player nearby. We heard a gunshot. But we also need this. Where are you? There's one that way and one up this way. Be on for about another 20 minutes, guys. Take me up to the 2-hour point. As I said, it's just I'm using this to relax this week, just so I've got a break from what I'm having to deal with. Where for a couple of hours I'm not worrying. Oh, just a bush. Well, looks like the deer got away. Bastards. No cow spawn up here, is there? That's a rhetorical question. I don't want to know the answer. Is that the right word? Whatever word it is, I don't want to know the answer. Come back by the well. But been back on the mouse. Yeah. Dead man's click. There's the fucking deer. Uh, what's that smoke? There. Let's see if they patrol down to the camp. 300 meters. So zombies will spawn in at that distance. AI have spawned in already. Last time I bumped into them was up there. Yeah. Good. The real world of holding a weapon still. Though this isn't not. It's still jumpy, but it's a bad mod, isn't it? That's what it is. That scope, which came in after this weapon was made, and the map author has never updated things for it. Nah. Right, I think that'll be it for tonight, guys. I've got a busy day on tomorrow, so I will call it there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the subs. That's massively appreciated. Thanks for the interaction. Thanks for the chat. And thanks for the guys that know what's happening for taking my mind off the real world. Thank you, guys. It's massively appreciated. I won't be streaming again now till probably Thursday, maybe Friday. But thanks for being here. Thanks for the interaction. Remember, if you've got a goblin in your sights, miss.